Hello everyone, welcome to Acoustic Paradiso. I'm Ben and it's very nice to be here. Today I'm going to be talking about alternate tunings, or at least a kind of introduction to alternate tunings if you are not that familiar. First of all, let's talk about standard tuning. So standard tuning was kind of standardized, I think, around about the 16th century, and it is from low to high, E, A, D, G, B, E. Now that is tunings made up of fourths and a third. You don't really need to know what that all means, but the reason that that tuning was kind of landed upon, it was adapted from lute tuning and I believe the chitarra battente, although I might have my pronunciation wrong, which is a 5-course Italian instrument for strumming, right? So because the guitar developed as a strumming instrument, this tuning makes it really easy to play chords. So you can do all of your bar chords, open chords, all of those different shapes, they fall quite easily underneath the fingers, which is why it's useful. However, because guitarists like to fiddle around with stuff, people have also always used other alternative tunings. So if you've never played in a tuning other than standard, we're going to change that right now. And I'm going to take you, first of all, down to drop D tuning. So what that means is we're going to take our low E string here, and we're going to drop it down a tone to a D. So if you're using a tuner, that's very easy. You can clip your tuner on, turn it on, and turn the string down until you hit a D. If you're using a phone or whatever, find a D, you're going to go down, not up, and that gives you on the lowest 3 strings of the guitar now, D, A, D. There we go. So we've got an octave of the D to D with an A in the middle, and those 3 strings now have become a power chord. So using one finger, we can now play kind of big low power chords on the low 3 strings like you were playing some kind of, you know, metal riff on your electric. But on the acoustic, that really opens up a lot of kind of resonant possibilities, which is a very kind of douchey way of saying it makes the guitar ring nicely. So if you play a nice open D chord with a drop D in the bass, you can play this sound. Very full sound there for your open D chord. Then if you're playing other chords, you will have to slightly adapt if you're using this lowest string. But you can always just bar across the bottom 3 strings and you will get a chord. So you will have to think about the notes you're playing, but I would recommend with drop D, the first thing to do, put your first finger on the 2nd fret of your G string. So that's this A note here. And then with the low, open bottom 3 strings, you can move this first finger around and try and find some notes that sound good. So, and just enjoy playing with that open, resonant low 3 strings, big power chord. But next up, from the drop D, we're going to go into DADGAD. Now DADGAD tuning, the notes are the way it's spelled. So you've got D, A, D, and then we're going to have the G stays the same as it does in standard tuning. The B string drops down to an A, so it goes from here down to an A, here, and then the top string goes down from an E to a D. So now we've got D, A, D, G, A, D, DADGAD. That is a very fun tuning. Now, if you take the idea that we were just talking about with using one finger and you do the same thing in DADGAD, all of a sudden you can strum the entire guitar. And that's a lot of fun. With that one finger on the 2nd fret of your G string, that gives you a massive D power chord. There's no 3rd in there. A lot of folk players use this tuning because it's really good for doing your kind of traditional sounding tunes, this kind of... It's often referred to as a modal tuning because it does work very well with the modes, which are a type of scale that's used in folk music. I'm going to leave that there. There's lots to explore in all of these tunings, but this is a very brief overview, just so you can try it out at home, see how you get on. The last one we're going to look at today is open D. Now, for this one, from DADGAD, it's very easy. You drop this G string down to an F sharp. So now our tuning low to high is D, A, D, F sharp, A, D. So your whole guitar is tuned to an open D chord. Very popular with slide players, which is what I'm going to do a bit of in a second, but also great for kind of singer-songwriters and rhythm parts. Joni Mitchell used this, I think, in Big Yellow Taxi, or a variation of it. It means that you can do rhythm parts with two fingers that sound a bit like this. And so on. So you can use that one finger all the way across the fretboard and it will give you a major chord. As I mentioned, this is a very popular tuning for playing slide because you've got the whole of the guitar in one chord. If you want to play the kind of slide that sounds like this, you can do that really easily. But it also opens up a lot more kind of nuanced things because you've got the ability to let the strings ring, all the kind of Raikuda-esque slide stuff. So it's a great tuning for that. With all of these tunings, there's lots of resources online about them, but I think the best thing to do, tune your guitar to them and just mess around in that tuning for a while. Try chord shapes you already know. Most of them, will sound rubbish. If you play a C chord in open D, it's going to sound weird. But if you experiment, then sometimes you might find something nice, and you don't need to know what it's called, but you can work that out as well if you know your harmony. The guitar is really, really, really well suited to playing in different tunings, and without needing to change your strings or change your setup, you can experiment with these and other tunings, especially if you're maybe getting a bit bored of your own playing, which happens to me quite regularly, or you're getting stuck in a rut. Changing the tuning of even just one string can really open up another world of possibilities. So enjoy it and see what you can come up with on your own. And if you've got any particular favourite open tunings, leave them in the comments down below. I'll try them out, because if it's a weird one, I might not have done it. Try it out, see how you get on, and don't forget to click like and subscribe, and you could win a Klon. Not that you need it for your acoustic, but See you soon.